Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Nina's Chelsea Corner. If you're new round here, Lincoln City 1, Chelsea 2. We're going to review what was an absolutely woeful performance from Chelsea. Yes, a win's a win. We're through to the next round in the Carabao Cup, but I'm just still in disbelief at how shocking that first half was, and I just wanted to believe it wasn't true. I thought it could be a joke. Surely it's a joke. It can't have been this poor, but it was. And maybe I could even say we were lucky to only be 1-0 down. Perhaps against a different side with maybe a little bit more quality up front, we probably would have been. But fair enough. I have to say, fair play to Lincoln City. They totally turned up to that one, came out from the blocks just ready to go, had a clear game plan and wanted to expose Chelsea's weaknesses at the back, and they managed to do so eventually. But those first 15 minutes just felt like punishment to watch. Such a hard watch. So many mistakes left, right and centre, so erratic, couldn't string more than 2-3 passes. Nobody seemed to have a clue what we were doing. We just looked like we couldn't really be bothered, and I would have thought so many starts for players that don't get to play in the Premier League. I would have thought at least a little part of you would just be raring to go and ready to prove yourself on the pitch, but it looked nothing like that. Everyone just looked disinterested, and I just couldn't believe my eyes, to be honest with you. I thought we'd actually go to Lincoln City and get a good result, maybe a higher scoreline for some goals and confidence, etc., but that really wasn't the case. A very scrappy 2-1, which at the end of the day you might argue is a win and we can move past it. However, obviously for the purpose of this match review, we will kind of unpack what went wrong and how it all went down. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Leave your comments down below. I'm sure there's a lot of angered people tonight, but honestly I just really after this want to put this game to bed and focus my attention on the weekend's fixture against Brighton, who also had an emphatic win tonight. So they're going to be coming to Stamford Bridge on a real high. But let's talk about the lineup firstly. I think really expected rotation, as Maresca alluded to in the press conference. We obviously need to rest some of the players. There's been a lot of maybe fatigue since the Club World Cup. So many players are just looking a little bit tired or can't really quite manage the full 90s at the same level, same quality. So it was expected. Quite happy there to see Garnacho starting. Gittins George obviously accompanied him in the front line. We obviously saw Santos start, who's had some pretty good recent little appearances and cameos where he's come on. Maybe a bit surprised to see Enzo start. I thought he might have had a rest, but he didn't. He was alongside, and we'll talk about the individual performances in the moment. But yeah, those choices didn't really surprise me. Defensively, we probably set up a little bit stronger, or rather what is our strongest centre-back duo at the moment in Chalobah and Fofana. Maresca obviously said yesterday that he thought this could be a game that we can slip up in, and so that was maybe where he wanted to restore a little bit of stability, and I'm going to keep doing this because of what stability was there at the back. And then of course we saw Hato start, who again we're intrigued by him. Haven't really seen him play much, and Malagusto of course, who is yeah, he's a regular, isn't he? So a nice, I'd say, balance there in the team, and certainly a team I'd expect to still go to Lincoln City and get a result. And that was not the case. Again, we all look like we'd just met before the pitch, before the game started. And again, I know a lot of these players haven't played, but still, you have enough quality to face Lincoln City. No disrespect here, but we are a couple leagues above them. We should absolutely be doing better than what we showed up with. They could have scored in the first 2 minutes, mind you, even a minute and a half, hit the post, put us under so much pressure. But defensively, guys, we were poor. Goalkeeping, poor. That whole back line made an array of mistakes, and again, against a team maybe with more quality up front, we concede so many more. So like I said, it was actually a good fortune that we only conceded that one goal. I don't know how, but you have Jorgensen jumping up, almost taking out Fofana in the opening minutes. Jorgensen himself with about 3 key mistakes that could have led to very dangerous goals, and I just can't even fathom how on earth we are in this position after all the money spent with Robert Sanchez and Philip Jorgensen as number 1 and 2 at our disposal. It is really concerning, and I will put this game to bed. I'll look past it. But this is what we're working with for the rest of the season in the Premier League, in the Champions League, in the Cup games. This is what we have, guys. So I can't help but look further into the season and feel confident that this won't come back to bite us in many ways. It obviously will. So yeah, without getting too angry, I thought very poor decisions from Chalobah today, very poor decisions even from Wesley Fofana. And look, I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit harsh here, but a lot of people praising Fofana for that performance. I personally thought he should have done a lot better than he did. Not up to par. That performance in the Premier League gets punished any day of the week, and I had no confidence whatsoever anytime we were in a position where we had to defend Lincoln City's attacks that we were going to be okay. So what confidence do I have going into the rest of these games? Yeah, midfield, I thought Enzo Fernandez again, subpar. Obviously, actually quite at fault, wasn't he? I believe, was it the first goal? I mean, it happened so quickly. I was still getting a replay on TV before we conceded that first goal. And then it panned to the net and the ball was at the back of it. So I was like, oh, wow, we've conceded here. And it was like this was just coming, wasn't it? So really, really poor. And again, moments where Chalobah was, if you guys remember, there was a pass he made to Santos where he put him under so much pressure. He got a yellow card for it. But what else could have Santos done? It's up to Chalobah to have a little bit more self-awareness. Sorry, read the room, see what is going on, and especially with Lincoln City, who were pressing so high at times, so aggressive, coming into these tackles and draws. I mean, they looked like they were just trying to take out all of our players most game anyway, but that's what you get against a physical League One side. I think we could have expected it in these cup games. This is how the football is played. I mean, at one point I was just worried about our players potentially walking away with the injury as well. It was just very, very difficult, and in that regard maybe I can cut us some slack. It's a very physical game, it's difficult. You're playing a League One side, sometimes that's not as easy as it sounds on paper. However, even still, those excuses to the side, it should have still been better than what it was, and that's the main point to make there. So really, really poor. We're all down at half time. I'm sitting there thinking, how on earth do we come back into this game? Dad's telling me, don't worry, we're going to come back into this game. And I'm saying, fair enough, Dad. You have the optimism that I don't have right now, because I'm looking at that football and I'm thinking, what on earth changes? We've got to bring on the big dogs now. We've got to bring Cucurella on, forget his rest. I mean, I didn't want to see Caicedo coming on in this game because that would have been concerning. So it just felt like we were in a moment of despair, because really the players we had there in the first half should have done better. Gittins was trying, but again, Garnacho, So second half, we roll out, and clearly Enzo Maresca's had a word with these players. Clearly he has done some shouting. I imagine we come out earlier and we just look a little bit more concentrated in the second half. Don't get me wrong, still made mistakes, but the 2 goals that come in quick succession, good goal from Tyreek George, fair play. I don't want to take away from his goal, but again, it's poor defending from Lincoln City. And second goal, same thing. So again, we kind of got a little bit lucky, and yeah, just take the win. I think there's nothing more to say here. Really struggling to find words of praise, maybe to Buonanotte, who scored the second goal. Pretty much walked it in, so fair play to him. Well done for managing the full 90 as well in such difficult conditions, and maybe when you weren't always supported by your teammates. But nevertheless, got the win. Obviously, Cucurella coming on made a huge difference. I thought his presence just in our box alone was really, really comforting, having him there. Pedro Neto came on, injected some life and some refreshment in the front line. Esteval equally, I think the pair of them could have assisted each other at 2 different points in that game. So unlucky on that front, but yeah, Brighton at the weekend, guys. That's the next focus. We can put this game to bed. We'll see who we get in the draw and cross that bridge when we get to it in the next round. But Premier League is exactly where it needs to improve, because that's a draw and a loss now. So we need a win. In no if buts or maybes. We are at Stamford Bridge. We've got a really poor week to make up for. That's now 4 games where we're feeling really sour after the game. So we need a win here, and we need a convincing one. Like, Brighton at home was one of the best games to watch last season. So impressive for so many reasons. And now we're going again with this thinned confidence, and I just don't want it to be that way. I really don't. So hopefully we can have a good lift at Stamford Bridge at the weekend. Let me know your thoughts, guys. What did you make of it? And again, like I say, don't dwell on it for too long, because we can't get our heads lost in this game. We have to move past it, because there is seriously much tougher games coming up, both in the league and in the Champions League, and we just really need to concentrate and be the best team we can be. So yeah, definitely cause for concerns, but stuff that we can hopefully work on. And yeah, but anyways, hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then please don't forget to click the don't forget to click the thumbs up button, and also follow me on Instagram, TikTok and X. They're all linked in the description down below. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you very soon. Have a good rest of your week.